Welcome. So I was going to do this video at the airport, but upon my arrival, it was so busy and loud. Even with my microphone, I didn't think it was going to be very effective. So today we're walking around Alameda Park, so I'll give you some views of that while I do this video. But this specific video, what I wanted to talk about is exchange rates. Now it's going to apply pretty much any foreign country you should go to, but certain specifics in this video we'll talk about Mexico, and specifically Mexico City. Before I left, I got into conversation with someone about exchange rates, and so I think that needed some clarification and might be helpful to other people. If you go online and check exchange rates between your country and Mexico or whatever country, that's going to give you a general good idea of what your money could be exchanged for, as well as the apps you can download onto your phone. You can get a general idea of what the exchange rates are, but they're really worthless because you need to learn about buy rates and sell rates to know what your money's being exchanged for. Now, when you arrive in the city, the first thing you can do is just go straight to an exchange kiosk at the airport, exchange your money, and you're good to go. Now, that's going to be the most convenient for you and efficient, but if you want to save some money, you want to do a little shopping around. Now, in most cities that you'll go to in foreign countries, you'll get a better exchange rate if you go to banks within the city or exchange locations in the city itself, as the airports don't generally give you a very good rate. However, what I found was Mexico City, the exchanges kiosks at the airport are more efficient and they are better rates, I feel. So as mentioned, just as soon as you arrive at the airport, first exchange kiosk you see, go right up to it and say convert or buy and get it done then. This is what the exchange kiosks look like at the airport. Now what you'll find is the most convenient ones when you come out of the gate area into the exchange area is the buy rate that you want to be looking at is quite low on the first kiosk you get to. But if you go further along, they go down, they go up because you want a higher buy rate. If you want your best rates, specifically in Mexico City, go to the domestic terminal. Just my trip, I just so happened to come in from Guadalajara, so I came into the domestic terminal anyway. Now, as mentioned, what are you looking for? You're looking for a high buy rate. I'm specifically looking at US dollars to pesos, so that's what I'm going to be looking for. Let's jump right in and do some easy math to figure out these buy rates and exchanges. As an example, let's say we're exchanging 1,000 US dollars. I've seen buy rates as low as 1730 walking along. So take 1,000 times 1730, which equals 17,300 pesos, which you'll receive in pesos. Now, in wandering around, I've seen exchange rates for the buy rate go as high as $20.15. So on that 2015 exchange rate, let's do a little math. So you take 1,000 times 2015, that's 20,150 pesos that you'll receive. Now, if we subtract the 20,150 pesos from the 1730 rate, that's 17,300 pesos. The difference is 2,850 pesos. And in converting that 2,850 pesos, that's about $142 US. So what can you buy for 2,850 pesos? Let's see. So as you walk through the park, you've got numerous street vendors where you can buy all kinds of stuff. In fact, you can buy yourself a Lucha Libre mask. So as you can see, the difference in buy rates can make a big difference. So that is why it's important to understand and shop around the best buy rate you can get. Now, one thing I didn't mention is exchange fees. I haven't come across any in Mexico City in doing any exchanges, but you can run into those in other foreign countries. Now in Mexico, with the peso being worth half the US dollars, if you're out shopping, here's a quick and easy way to calculate pesos to US dollars. Let's use the 2,850 difference that we just talked about. With 2,850, move the decimal point over 1, which is 285, divide that by 2, which is about 142.50 cents US dollars. So using another example, let's talk Mexican street food, as I'm starting to get kind of hungry. Street vendors will sell you torta grilled sandwiches for around 31 pesos. Now if you move the decimal over 1, that's 3.1. Divide that by 2. So you can buy your torta lunch for about $1.55 US dollars. Out of curiosity, let's do this calculation on the money we saved, the 142.50 US dollars in our exchange rate. If we spent all of that money on torta grilled sandwiches, that would be 91 sandwiches, which we can eat because we understood buy rates and shopped around. Now we also need to talk about sell rates. When you're done and you want to get rid of your money, in this case pesos, for ease of calculations, let's again use the $1,000 example. To make this more credible, let's say that we arrived as a foreign dignitary and we exchanged our $1,000 and the Mexican government ended up picking up the bill for everything since we were a dignitary. So we didn't spend anything. We still have our $1,000 and we want to exchange it back to US dollars. Since our exchange rate was $20.15, we have 20,150 pesos. With that, instead of multiplying, so the 20,150, we divide that by 2015, that equals 1,000 US dollars. With that sell rate, we got back the same amount we put in, and we didn't get to eat those 91 sandwiches, those tortas, or buy that fancy hat. Now, if we shopped around for the best sell rate, which is the opposite, you want the lowest sell rate value. Let's say we found a sell rate of $17.30. Now we take the 20,150 pesos, divide that by 1730, you have 1,164.73 US dollars. So our 2015 rate, 1,000, subtracting the 1730 rate, 1164.73, and that is a savings of 164.73 US dollars. And all that just because we shopped around. Now, if we took that savings and spent it all on Subway $10 sandwiches, that's 16 sandwiches we could buy from Subway. from our savings. Once again, that is if there's no exchange fees, but generally there isn't any in Mexico. So specifically exchanging your currency here in Mexico City, I recommend just get it done at the airport. I held off. I did exchange a little because I was coming in on a Saturday night and it was going into a holiday week, so I wasn't sure if banks would be open, so I exchanged, but held off on some. And I had actually a heck of a time trying to find a bank that would exchange money. I was going all over the place, specifically in the Zocalo area, the downtown historic area. In fact, made the mistake of actually doing a Google search for banks, and I found one that looked promising, a Banco Museo. So I went to it, and the security guard, I told him I wanted to exchange some money. He points out to me that the bank is actually a museum. I wasn't going to get a very good exchange rate there. So in the Zocalo area, like I mentioned, I went around to quite a few banks and none of them exchanged money, but I did find a few exchange bureaus where they would exchange money, but their buy rates were really bad. So I didn't do any exchanging. So then I put it off until I went to the Roma Norte area and I got a better exchange rate there. But again, all I could find was exchange bureaus. I couldn't really find any banks. So best, if you're coming to Mexico City, just do your exchange rate for the best rate you can get at the airport. That concludes this video. I hope this information is helpful for you and you got some good knowledge from it when visiting a foreign country or Mexico City. Have a good day.